Bada bing, bada boom, I'm done. Learn from a professional, kid.
As a child of the 80s, we raised sarcasm to an art form. We distilled what we learned from our parents from the 50s. We knew how to give respect, and we did. But, we had to roll our eyes.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
And occasionally we needed to learn the right way. Mr. Miyagi had that lesson for Daniel.
Look, I always look, I.
If you're going to deal with somebody honorably, if you're going to deal with somebody fairly, if you're going to show somebody respect, and Daniel, as a man who sells cars, he needs to do this. It's a sign of respect, but it is also a way of making sure you keep your opponent in full view, and you're constantly observing. Hopefully you will not miss any cues or hints on their behavior.
Concentrate. Look in my eye.
Here's a lesson we are going to see in the 4th episode of Season 2 of Cobra Kai. We have already seen this lesson throughout Cobra Kai. We've seen it in Season 1. We've seen it in the beginning of Season 2. We've seen it with Johnny Lawrence. He's honest. He looks you in the eye and tells you what's on his mind. He gives you his perspective. Well, it's not sweet.
Listen, Menudo, I've lived in this shithole for over 10 years. Pipes don't work, the fountain's full of piss. And the only good thing about being here is I don't have to talk to anybody. So nice knowing you.
Okay, well, have a nice day, I guess.
It's sometimes not very nice if he doesn't like you. Well, you know you stand with him, and he tells you what's on his mind from his perspective. Perhaps Daniel sees this as duplicitous. It's straightforward. He's telling you, I oppose you. Daniel, on the other hand, has been a little bit underhanded, subtle, had some dirty tricks, less than honorable dealings with his opponent. And of course, that certainly gets Johnny's attention. Well, Daniel looks at Johnny's blunt responses and less than nice dealings, and he sees that as Johnny being a snake in the grass. Cobra Kai, the snake in the grass, but not lying. He may not be easy. He's tough. He stands up for himself. Daniel has been on the other side of Johnny enough that he takes that as not just wrong, but evil. Boy, do we ever see that in today's world. And where's that getting us? We see where that's getting Daniel. He's adding frustration to his own life, but others as well. Speaking of bravery, the brave fool.
Hello?
Dimitri expects people to deal with him fairly.
I was a little afraid you'd be the other guy.
He has a bit of sarcasm in him.
Saw your little demonstration at Valley Fest. A couple of other guys have been requesting I come join the club.
Your quaint little demonstration.
I feel like it's time to give it another go. But
I think we can safely say that Dimitri's probably an only child, and he's used to being in a certain amount of control, even if he is on the low rung.
But I'm not sure it's anatomically correct.
He says he's not sure. He's almost entirely sure.
Much smaller.
Finally, he sees the situation he's in. Oh, poor Dimitri. Now, he went face to face. He went eyeball to eyeball with Kreese. Probably not the man you want to do that with. But he did. And it goes to another confrontation.
Miyagi-Do's all about defense.
Defense wins championships.
Yeah, but people show up for the offense.
I wonder if that's true. Does defense actually, is that the only ingredient to winning championships?
Go to the mall.
I don't know if it's in any other television shows or movies, but
Hey, Dad.
do we ever get this much direct eye contact? Probably do. I'm probably just noticing it because it's related to Karate Kid.
I did what Mr. Miyagi taught me to do. I treated people honestly. Looked them in the eye.
Looked him in the eye.
Asked for their trust, and I earned it.
I am surprised that hasn't made a more prominent appearance in other Karate Kid movies.
It's the same thing with karate.
or the series so far.
We got to use a more personal touch.
It's true.
We got to look people in the eye and connect with them. That's
It's
the
true.
only way we're going to be successful.
It's a good.
All right.
It's a good bit of
Ready?
advice.
Warlords controlled whole swaths of the city. My team and I were charged with cleaning the place up.
Miguel is the only one who's not looking at him in the eye. He's technically part of the group, but he's not
No, you already
looking him
raised my
eye
rent
to
6
eye.
months ago.
I tell you, Rwanda was no joke.
Don't you mean Somalia? Mogadishu's in Somalia. Rwanda's a whole different country.
Now he's looking at him in the eye and not doing a
Of course, Somalia.
Miguel, not a Miguel,
I spent
Dimitri
so much time in
thing.
the sandbox. It all kind of bleeds together, you know.
He's not being a smartass. He's not being a know-it-all.
See, we got some new recruits.
And we are about to get the best new character.
We kind of bonded, talked about rock bands.
Look, you're little.
He is a really good actor. He's very funny. But that's not the guy I'm talking about. That's not the
Not
character I'm
afraid
referring
kids,
to.
Sir. And my mom, she
You got to fight.
Maybe rough recruits, but they are looking him in the eye. They're not shamed, and they're not afraid.
I'll take him on.
Little trepidatious, but not her. It's almost certainly, just to call back to Karate Kid, just to call back to Allie with an eye. From what I understand, her name is Tori Nichols, and Nichols doesn't connect in any way that we can tell to Allie Mills Schwarber.
Not the students that I'm after.
It's a reminder of something that we appreciate.
So you're counting on kids listening to their parents?
And also reminds us of Elizabeth Shue. It keeps everyone thinking, is Elizabeth Shue going to come back? No, she will.
You all right?
Yeah.
And he's facing down a reality as well. He's looking at,
Really?
he's
When?
looking this place in the eye.
a couple days last summer.
Obviously something in the history that is not pleasant. So
You wouldn't
now,
want to go to the beach with me, would you?
the Beach Club.
Be nice to have some.
And Aisha's mom. We get to see Aisha's mom
Guess I
now.
could suffer through a day at the beach.
And as
So you
a
got pushed
product of
around.
the 80s, I
So
can't
what?
wait.
Get over it.
It may be a phone, but it is eye to eye. And
Stop being
he's
such a
not
bitch.
backing down.
You know what happens to snitches?
They get immunity.
Snitches get stitches.
I have stitches. I've got several.
So he's not really afraid. He
Don't
is
do anything
pointing out
stupid,
to
you'll regret
Eli,
Well,
Hal,
That
what
pussy means you can
worse
handle
thing is
tremendous
going to happen
abuse.
now?
He's not Cobra Kai material.
He does not trust this Kreese character. He is the fox in the hen house.
It's complicated.
Yeah, here's the theme. The
Guy's
theme
got
of the
his
series.
issues, but everyone deserves a second chance.
It's not just the theme of the show. It's
I'm on top of it.
it's true.
Okay.
What do you do with that chance?
The kid is always on his phone.
I know something about that. It's tough to get a read on these kids.
Parents in the
Back in
audience
our day, our
are
moms would give us
connecting
trouble when we came home
completely
from
right
class.
now.
Today, forget about it.
What you up to?
Funny you should ask.
Now, just seeing Ralph Macchio there with this guy. Ralph Macchio is about 56, 57. There's no way that other guy is much older than 42. Ralph Macchio does not look 56.
I feel like we should clear the air, but at the same time, I'm still pissed at them for ruining our performance.
So will she
go talk to her.
go look her in the eye? She gives her friend the respect that is due, that she would expect back from her.
What are you mad about? You guys are the ones who stomped all over our Valley Fest demo.
Only after your father attacked our dojo.
They're
What
not
were we
taking
supposed
it
to
out
do?
of hand,
He didn't attack
looking
you
at
guys.
each other,
No? Snake in the grass?
direct
Real subtle.
grievances.
He's just trying to
They
do
don't
the right
tiptoe
thing.
around the subject.
What, so Cobra Kai's wrong?
And that's how you handle it. And, we would be so lucky if it lasts.
So it's just you and Abs all summer, training. God, that must be hard.
Cobra Kai and its members do seem to have something about nicknames.
I knew it was you.
I don't think you understand. Robbie is our guest. Period.
My mistake.
No, she could just stop and leave it at there. Leave it at that part.
What about Robbie?
She goes right to Robbie.
Maybe I should go.
No. Oh, hey, look. We all make mistakes. It's what we do next that counts, right?
It's the recurring theme. We get it twice within a 5-minute period now.
Everything okay?
Oh, yeah, I was just having this little dispute with my hotelier. You know, I'm
Does
overdue
anyone
for
say the word
show.
hotelier anymore?
Top-notch accommodations.
I don't think I've ever
But I think
said.
housekeeping walked off with one of my watches. Listen, I'll see you in the morning, bright and early. It's a good class today. I think there's a couple of decent prospects in the bunch.
So he leaves. Is it because he can't bear to look him in the eye?
And the cool thing is the dojo's actually at a house, and we train outside in nature. I
Do
incorporate
I hear you gentlemen gabbing about
Aisha's
karate?
mom is Kim Fields.
Who would have thought that karate?
It is so good to see her.
Turned everything around for my Aisha.
Really? Is she one of your students, Daniel?
Well, no.
Cobra Kai. It's the best thing that ever happened to her. Right?
Kick ass. Now, why isn't my kid doing that?
Well, he isn't necessarily, he isn't bad-mouthing him this time. He isn't
Robbie actually moved into our
undercutting him with
Your parents let that happen.
any kind of a
There's nothing
lie.
going on. We're just friends.
It is disheartening.
I'm
It's very
still not
disheartening.
gonna tell Miguel.
Yeah, this is a great scene. This is one of my favorites in the episode. You know, he's having one of those days where you've had him, I've had him. Everything's lousy, and the one thing you need that ain't around, is it there? Is that it? Looks like Mr. Miyagi. He needs the words of Mr. Miyagi right now, and is it even possible? No, it's
Can I
not.
help you? If you got something worth biting, eventually the fish will find you. Just have to be patient.
How about that? How about that?
More like my friend than I thought.
Yeah, well, and then what I think is, yeah, patience. How long does that take? Well, that's very good. He's had a rough run,
Sorry about Aisha.
She can be friends with
and
her
now
if
he's
she
got
wants.
something that he needed, words from his
Have you
former
ever noticed
mentor.
my wallet? Hey.
This is why Sam
My
takes
mom's
after her
missing her
dad.
wallet.
Well, this is how
It's
she
not
takes after her
her.
dad.
You wouldn't know anything about that?
Crusade.
Now let's get out of here. Get off of me!
Shorty in the green thong?
Oh, man, I ain't thinking about that right now. Just open the
And that guy still looks like a weasel. And the other guy still looks like a model.
Bring it.
This guy looks huge. He's not a kid like these guys. He is probably, I don't know, the stunt choreographer, the stunt coordinator, lead stunt guy. He's a big guy. Oh, man.
Sorry, man. It won't happen again.
And he has to look away.
We need to leave him with something.
Don't
to
show the
remember.
guy's face too much, because it'll look obvious that he's a big, older fella in a wig. Guy who is desperate to be like Mr. Miyagi. He's had his chance now, and he got it. Jesus, this guy's big. Good fall.
Your grandpa know how to move like that, huh?
You can take the boy out of Jersey.
Trip to Tahiti.
Hey, the trip to Tahiti was true. That's why he was out of the middle of Cobra, Karate Kid 3.
Try re-enlist.
These little subtle
They got,
callbacks to the other
bullshit
movies.
Psychiatrists now. What the hell do they know?
So he's revealing now. He's finally revealing. And you believe him.
For me a job. Then I heard about what you did in the Old Valley. And I figured that was my second shot. With all the shit that I've seen in my life.
And the third time now.
I feel like a broken man, Johnny.
But I was taught defeat does not exist in this dojo. Does it?
That's all any of us
Cobra
want.
Kai wouldn't exist without John Kreese.
And we want to believe it for him.
You want a chance to redeem yourself? You got it.
We've seen it work for Johnny.
But you gotta try to do things my way.
You want it to work. You want it to be true. No second chance right now for Aisha and Sam? Apparently not.
It's time we be patient. Let those who need us find us, right?
And what a coincidence.
Excuse me?
What a moment.
It was unclear if the gate was the front door, if I was supposed to ring the doorbell. Yeah, I want to learn karate.
Yeah, this is the second chance Daniel needs. He's been down.
You have come to the right place.
What about if your opponent attacks you from behind?
Excellent question. Sensei Kreese, you want to take this one?
Certainly, Sensei Lawrence.
You sure about this, Sensei?
He doesn't yet have a gi, does he? That's just a t-shirt, isn't it?
The key to this move is making your enemy think you are retreating. But just as they let their guard down, that's when you strike the hardest.
He has just told us everything. Everything. There is no doubt whatsoever that Kreese is talking directly to the audience. What are you doing, John Kreese? Oh, I'll tell you.
Are you familiar with brumation? In the winter, some animals bury themselves in a hole and sleep there for months. The key to this move is making your enemy think you are retreating. The snake doesn't sleep, but just as they let their guard down, waiting for the right moment to emerge. That's when you strike the hardest. And that moment is now. Ice! And that moment is now.
The moment is now to look your opponent in the eye. For the sake of respect, for the sake of honor, and for the sake of your own safety, watch your opponent. See if they are going to telegraph their move. If Johnny would watch carefully in the eyes of John Kreese, he would know. He would see. It's not wrong that he tries to give the man a second chance. But he should take the advice that we did here back in the 80s. Trust, but verify. Next episode is All In. That's the title. And that is the case. Kreese is a second sensei in Cobra Kai. He's all in, and he's all in to get the whole pot. Thanks very much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. You take care.
Oi. Look, I always look, I.